Welcome to another video analysis with the dead ball area and rugby dump coaching. Like most rugby fans, I enjoy running rugby, but I also appreciate there are many ways to skin a cat, and love it or hate it, the line-out drive is one of the most effective weapons in the modern game. It's difficult to defend to see it deployed as a tactic at all levels of the game, be it amateur rugby, top 14, domestic leagues and international level. And here we see England effecting a line-out drive that dismantles the Fijian maul defence by first probing left and then right, and once the weakness is found, rolling to the side and splitting away. Now yes, there is some debate towards the legality of the England try, but I think this clip shows us what a powerful weapon it can be. And in the Aviva Premiership, Exeter gave a masterclass in using the maul as an attacking weapon against Wasps, scoring 4 of their tries via the line-out drive. So we're going to look at 2 of those tries in a little more detail, and we'll start with the second. Let's look at the Exeter line-out setup. The first thing to note is their jumping options. They have 2 main options at the front, Parling with Lee, Johnson and Moon as the lifting options, and Lee with Moon, Parling and Johnson as the lifting options. And then they have 1 option at the back, Julian Salvey, with Lee coming around and creating the rear pod as we can see here. On the previous Waldrum score, Exeter threw a 2-ball and set from there, and we can see here that Wasps are expecting more of the same. Their main line-out defence is clustered in this area. All eyes are on the front pod, and we get a further indication of how concerned they are about the catch set at the front, as when Exeter dummy the front jump, Wasps all step towards the pod, leaving Salvey free to catch at the rear and leaving Mullen and Thompson as the only real defenders here. Now Wasps look to destabilise the pod before it sets and try to get through the lifters and split them all. We can see here that Mullen and Thompson drive in on Salvey's supporters before he is landed. Now that's illegal and should be a penalty to Exeter. But regardless, Salvey lays the ball off to Waldrum and Moon and Johnson comes in to protect Waldrum, allowing him to slide back. It's a slick piece of line-out work from Exeter, and the movement from front to back results in the defenders having to turn and chase back across and around behind to defend the drive. In contrast, the Exeter players are coming around and onto the ruck at pace. It's not much, but it's enough to put the Wasp players on the back foot before the drive has even begun, which you can see with how the maul crabs sideways as the Wasp defenders struggle to get around and square onto the drive. Now because Exeter have this phalanx of players in front of Waldrum, they can ride out the initial Wasps counter and spin them all using the momentum Wasps have generated to move the defenders away from the front, meaning they have to break off and come back around to defend. There's often quite some debate as to whether these types of drives are legal or not. If you cast your mind back to the England maul at the start of this video, we can see they break off completely. Now the law says you can continue the maul if the opposition voluntarily leave the maul, and that's where the debate comes in. As with the England try, if we look at how Exeter roll around and to the right, we can ask the question of how the Wasp defenders end up leaving the maul. For me though, it's fine. It's a natural consequence of the maul spinning infield, but the result is the maul ends up with no defenders bar a couple of desperate bodies thrown in at the front, and Exeter have a free run to the line and they power over with Waldrum dotting down. Now if we fast forward to later in the game, Exeter have a 5-metre line out, and this time they go to 2, with a little bit of movement to emphasise it's just to get in the air quickly and back down. Again we see Wasps go for the counter drive as soon as the catcher lands, and as before we see Exeter use the momentum generated by Wasps forwards to walk the maul infield, and again once they start to spin they bring all of these defenders around the maul, nullifying them, and again it gives Exeter a clear run to the line and Waldrum goes over for another try. I think we can see here that the maul is a highly effective weapon, and whilst lots of people see it as negative play, it doesn't have to be. Yes, it's difficult to stop, but whilst these examples are try scoring, I believe it's something that can be used to gain territory or generate quick ball and space for an attack. If you think about it, defenders can be sucked in as they commit to stopping the maul, and that sends the defensive line backwards. Like any tactic, when overdone it becomes predictable, but as utilised as part of a rounded, well-balanced game plan, it can be as positive a weapon as a dynamic multi-phase attack pattern. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube.